just eating our breakfast. I have some chia seed pudding with some delicious mangoes. Colin's eating leftovers from last night. Look at our hydrangeas, they're so fluffy. Yeah, so we're going to our blood test and ultrasound. I'm gonna go for a little walk, which is only like a 20-minute walk away. And we will find out if I need to keep stimming or if we're ready to go for trigger shot and egg retrieval afterwards. So, and we'll also find out how many follicles have eggs and how big they are. So. We have 10 minutes before my appointment and it's 8 o'clock. Have to take the orgolutron ASAP because it's only good for 24 hours. Otherwise I could release and ovulate an egg here, but not to take the Menopur before the blood test. Back again, back again. It's on. Strike a pose.
Paper dress.
Paper bag princess. Check her hysteroscopy for me as well.
Rachel, what do you have left for your medication at this point?
Just the Menopur and Puragon.
Just enough for today?
Yeah.
Do you have orgolutron for today?
I already took it. Is it fine?
And nothing for tomorrow then?
Well, they already sent my prescriptions to the pharmacy for the next 4 days, just in case I needed it.
Oh, okay, perfect.
Yeah.
So you don't pick up it enough? Okay. Oh.
Yeah.
And on your right side here.
This side?
You're right. Alright, just measuring all your follicles here.
Does it say how many I have on that one?
I'm just starting to measure. So far 3. This is the 4th one. So she had a surgical cyst with death. Back in April, had a polyp removal and gentle curettage, antegrated uterus, normal contour, and a tubular polyp in the left foregut. Can you put needs hyst prior to transfer another one? Yeah. So I'm going to get you to do another hysteroscopy prior to your transfer. So I'll show you what the image shows here. Looks like you may have a tiny little polyp. I will show you. So on your left side here, you have 2 big follicles, okay? On your right side here, they're quite a bit smaller. So what we have here is kind of a very spread pattern, okay? So left side, like I said, they're quite big. They're almost ready. But on the right side, they're quite small, only about 8 millimeters.
Okay.
So if we go another day for you, it is unlikely that any of these are going to be ready. And it looks like we will only have about 2 follicles that are mature enough for retrieval. So what you guys have to decide is if you want to go ahead with the retrieval.
So we had to kind of cut the filming in the ultrasound off a little bit early because the doctor was giving us some information that we weren't really understanding at first, and we had to kind of put all of our attention towards listening to what she had to say. So while she was doing the ultrasound, she took a look at my right ovaries and found that I only had 2 follicles that were actually quite large already, and they were actually probably ready to go for egg retrieval in the next day or so. On my left side, I had 3 follicles, which were not quite as big. They were only around 8 millimeters, where the other ones were about 15 to 16 millimeters, so they weren't growing at the same pace. And she said that, you know, if we waited for these 3 to grow any bigger, we would lose the other 2. So she kind of said it was up to us if we wanted to continue with egg retrieval with the 2 follicles, or if we wanted to cancel the cycle completely. And it was kind of a surreal moment because we weren't really understanding like what she was saying. It was kind of like an overwhelming amount of information, and just the kind of information we weren't really expecting to hear, as well as, you know, the way she was delivering the message was very like fast and just, you know, very, you know, as some doctors are, just very kind of like informative, not really like sympathetic or personal. But you know, we had some questions like, you know, like what does that mean, like what happens next? And she kind of just said that, you know, we would cancel the cycle now, like not go forward with egg retrieval, and we would try another cycle with a different protocol. So I was on the antagonist protocol with Menopur, Puragon, and Orgalutron, but maybe that we would have to try another protocol to make sure that the follicles all grow at the same size, because otherwise if we go forward with egg retrieval, we would only be potentially getting maximum 2 eggs from the 2 follicles, assuming or hoping that both follicles have an egg inside. The nurse explained it really well, that the follicle is like the house of the egg, and not every house has an egg. So our chances of not only getting an egg is slim, and then after that getting them to fertilize, and then once they're fertilized, getting the eggs or egg to reach day 3 or day 5 of the embryo is very, very slim. You know, considering I've been reading a lot of IVF stories and watching a lot of stories, and you know, usually, you know, they retrieve 10 to 20 eggs, and maybe 8 are fertilized, and maybe 5 or 6 make it to embryo stage and to be transferred or frozen. And considering I only have 2 eggs, it just was very heartbreaking and very devastating. It just not was something we were expecting to hear. Like, I knew that there was a chance that, you know, once they transferred the embryo, it might not implant, and I was prepared for that, but I wasn't prepared for hearing that I might not have enough eggs. So, you know, she said take some time to think about it, and that to call them to let them know what we want to do, because if we wanted to go ahead with retrieval, that you know, it would have to be within the next day or so, and we'd have to come back for an ultrasound tomorrow. So, you know, we left kind of like in a haze. We still had a lot of questions, you know, like if we canceled now, would we get our money back? Could we get as far as the egg retrieval? And if there were no eggs, could we get our money back? You know, how long do we have to wait to try a new cycle with the new protocol? And that just was like a whole lot of information to think about. But you know, I was pretty upset because, you know, it was very heartbreaking to hear that. And so we just I just wanted to go home. We were about to leave the building and we got a call, and I guess like one of the nurses on my doctor's team, you know, heard what happened and saw that I was upset. As I was leaving, she called us and she wanted us to come back so we could talk to her and ask her some more questions, which was really amazing of her, because it did kind of give us more perspective of, you know, what the next steps are going to be. So, you know, we met with the nurse, and, you know, one of my questions was, if we do a new cycle with a new protocol, is there a chance I would have more follicles, or I'd have more eggs? And she said no, like the number of follicles you have is what you have, so you maximum could only get 5 eggs. And that again was pretty devastating, because, you know, I'm fairly young. Everyone assumed that I would have a lot of eggs to retrieve and lots of chances for fertilization and lots of chances for that to make it to the embryo stage and more to freeze. And to know that, you know, this time around we only got 2, and, you know, the best case scenario I could get 5. It's kind of a lot to take in, and you know, just to know that how slim your chances are. It really like tests it really tested my faith. You know, but thankfully I'm not doing it alone, and Colin is with me, and we were able to talk things through, and he was able to put things in perspective and just remind me that, you know, it's not the end, that we're gonna keep trying. So the nurse said that we'd have to wait for the doctor to call us to see what the results of my blood tests are. She said it's possible that if my hormone levels are still high, that she would give us the option to move forward. Otherwise, her recommendation would be to just cancel this cycle and try again with a different protocol, and we would not have the option to move forward with the 2 follicles. But Colin and I discussed and, you know, thought about it, and we decided that if we are to get the option to move forward, that we are going to go all in and just take a huge leap of faith and just pray that these 2 follicles have eggs and they'll make it to implantation. And if not, if they decide that we have to cancel, we'll be grateful to get our money back and just plan again for coming back in a month or 2, more prepared mentally and emotionally. But we are still waiting for the call. They could call us in the next 3 hours with what the next step is, but I just wanted to share with you guys now what is happening and what our thoughts are. We'll keep you guys posted. Sorry for my little breakdown there, but I just wanted to show you guys, you know, the possibilities and, you know, what could happen in a cycle and the unexpectedness of everything. So we just want to be open and share everything with you guys, the good, the bad, the emotional, the happy. So we're just going to take some time to rest today and just relax before we have some visitors. So even after all the drama, we're still gonna go to the beach. We've planned it, and I was really looking forward to today because it's the first really sunny day since we've been here. And I think going to our books. I forgot my book.
No.
Did you get your book?
I got mine.
Oh my god. I know, this is like just like at home. Yeah, I think just relaxing and reading and just being on the beach, which is one of my favorite places, will be good for us. Good for me. So we are here at my favorite beach in all of Vancouver, Spanish Banks. Kitsilano Beach is just down the way there in the corner. It's a lot busier over there because you can really only get here by car. Spanish Banks is pretty far, and I don't know if any buses come down this way, but it's so beautiful here. Let's go set up. So it's a little bit windy, but I'm pretty sure it's going down. Get some sun, but it's so beautiful. Got our little setup here. We didn't bring our blankets my blanket, though, my scarf blanket. Got some snacks. And my bookies, some water. Just chill out. What's up, babe? Just chill. We just got back from the beach and it was really nice to just kind of clear our minds and kind of just take a step back and see what we wanted to do and where do we go from here. But we were also kind of just waiting for the doctor to call us because, you know, she kind of had the power to say that we would have to cancel, that we didn't want to go forward, but we never got the call, and we were wondering because it was way past the time that they said they were going to call. But I noticed that I had a voicemail, so I checked my voicemail and it was actually surprising, and they said that my hormone levels from my blood test were actually on the rise, which she said that the doctor was very happy about that. Those were her words, which I thought was a good sign, and that we could move forward with this cycle if we wanted to with the 2 follicles that are ready to go. So, you know, I let Colin listen to the voicemail, and, you know, our first initial gut reaction was to just go forward with it. We're here. We've gone this far. It's taken 2 years to just get this far, as well as the factor that the maximum follicles I have is 5, so the most eggs we could get at one time is 5, which I know 2 is still a lot less, but it's still low. 5 is still low, like, you know, in my eyes, like, you know, especially I've been hearing and reading that, you know, people getting more than 20 eggs and more than 30 eggs, so 5 maximum seems already low to me. So 2 is, for me, is not that far off. And, you know, they said my AMH levels were really good, so the nurse said that, you know, they're confident that the egg qualities are most likely very good. But yeah, so tomorrow we have we have an ultrasound tomorrow morning, and I think we'll talk to the doctor with what our decision is going to be, and that is to move forward with our 2 follicles and pray that there's eggs in there, and pray that those 2 eggs are fertilized and they make it to embryo stage, at least one of them, and we can do the fresh transfer. And if we don't have any frozen, then we will get partial refund for the CCS genetic testing that we paid for. So it's not a complete loss if we don't have any frozen ones, but as long as we can have one fresh transfer, I'll be very grateful. But yeah, that's where we are. We'll update you guys tomorrow. Thank you again so much for watching. For those new subscribers, let me know in the comments below what you want to see more of for our cycle and what you guys want to see from us. So thanks again. Night, guys. No.